Your love, it keeps pulling us up, pulling us back to where you are. And it's your love, your peace, your joy that fills our heart. And when you move like rain, you fall right through us like a flood. Your voice, it speaks the sound like fire to our bones. Lead us back to love. Come on. Love. Lead us back to you. Lead us back to you. Love. Lead us back to you. Your grace invades our lives and binds us to your heart. Come on, hey. Your power, it fuels our souls with strength to carry on. Lead us back to you. Hey. Oh.
This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. The singing may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like may be small, but she is mighty on that drum. Oh my gosh. Did you feel that war cry? Love it.
Love it.
Choir,
Come
you're
on.
insane. So much joy.
Mosaic Wakanda in the house. Let's go.
Welcome, Mosaic. Welcome. I know it may be early for you, but we've been up for hours and we're ready to party. Who's ready to party in here? So, my name is Beck, if we haven't met, and I'm the kids pastor here at Mosaic Hollywood. It's my fine husband.
Fine. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of that.
My name is Joe, and I'm her bodyguard. And so we're just so excited to have you here. Welcome to Mosaic. Welcome home. If it's your first time here at Mosaic, can you raise your hand? We'd love to see you and meet you.
And give them a high five.
Oh, look at so many hands. Give them a high five if you're next to them.
Okay, we want to make sure that you guys get to know each other. So take the next 30 seconds, introduce yourselves to someone around you, and take a seat. Let's get friendly. So good. Isn't this good? Doesn't it feel good to be at church this morning? Where else would you rather be? Where else would we rather be? I don't want to be anywhere else. This is my favorite place. You're my favorite people. I'm looking at you. I see you. Welcome home. And if you haven't heard it, you belong here. This is your family. This is your tribe. We're here for you. And one way that we want to help get connected to you and you get connected to us is by the Connect cards. If on the seat under your bottom is a Connect card and a prayer card. So if you could pull that out so I can see that you
Looks
found
like this,
it.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Hey. And this Connect card, fill it out, especially if it's your first time, and even if it's not your first time, but you know there's more for you to get involved here at Mosaic, then fill it out and then either put it in the offering bucket when that goes by, or take it to the next step in the back patio after the gathering and say, I want to get connected more. I want to serve and find out what I can do to participate here and make this home for somebody else. And then also there's the prayer card. If you're going through something, if you need prayer, then you write your prayer down. Oh, thank you. Wow, an assistant.
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. Yeah. We want to pray for you, and that's what it looks like when you do life together, is you pray for one another, right? We don't want you just to pray by yourself. We want everyone to pray together on your behalf, because it's how we fight our battles. If you hadn't known, that's how you do it. Prayer and worship.
And it's been a big week around here, right? Yeah.
We had a team go to, right now is in Guatemala. So cool. MSC and Pastor Erwin preaching it to thousands of people. It's so cool that we can be here, but they're over there taking the gospel to South America on our behalf. It's so cool.
Yeah, and there was another part of our team that was in Chicago for the last few days, and we were there, and Pastor Erwin spoke at a conference and just pouring into the people in Chicago, and then Pastor Kim was with us, and she rushed home yesterday because today we have Pastor Kim in the house, and bringing an incredible message. I have zero doubt. So we just want to encourage you, lean in. We're going to encourage you, be expectant. That she is going to bring such a word that can shift us and move us and call us to more. And so I cannot wait to hear what you have for us, Pastor Kim. So let's just all get ready for God to speak in a powerful way. Yeah.
And big thing happening in November. If you haven't guessed, it's conference. Woo. If you want to know what it looks like to be the heart of Mosaic and what God is calling us to the future, you want to be part of that future, then you must be at conference. You do not want to miss it. You'll feel like you've missed a whole year if you don't get to conference. So make sure you purchase your tickets today and invite your friends. Tell the world, tell all your friends from other places that you have to be here in November for Mosaic Conference. You got it? Ready? So, for little details, check out this video.
Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation. The only thing we can be sure of about the future is that it will be absolutely fantastic. So, if what I say now seems to you to be very reasonable, then I'll have failed completely. Only if what I tell you appears absolutely unbelievable have we any chance of visualizing the future as it really will happen.
There's a future waiting to be created.
Come on. It is going to be incredible. I want to echo what Beck said. Mosaic Conference. This is our annual thing that we do once a year, where it's the heart and the epicenter of what we feel like God is calling us to. So if you want to know and you want to be a part of the future of creativity, the future of the church, the future of what is going to happen and what you need to be a part of, the future of humanity, then you need to be at conference. And that it's just been so awesome even the last couple months, going all across the world into different conferences and different places and conversations that people are having. And it is incredible and it is beautiful, but I'm convinced that there is no more important conversation for us than what we're having here. And that what we're gonna be a part of on November 8th through the 10th. So if Mosaic is your home, or if this is your first time, now Mosaic is your home, and you need to be a part of this. And so buy your tickets. We're selling them in the back, so you can go to the Next Step area, or go to mosaic.org/conference. So everybody's gonna be there in this room? Come on, you do not wanna miss it, it's gonna be incredible. So now we're gonna transition where we have a time where we receive our offering. And as we do that, I wanna invite our connection team to come forward. And I wanna read a verse together to prepare our hearts before we give. This is in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 26. It says, some people are always greedy for more, but the godly love to give. I love that. Some people, not you, of course, but it's other people, right? Some people are always greedy for more, but the godly love to give. Anybody out there that loves to give? Right? So 7 of you. All right, we're gonna work on that. So if you're a parent, you understand the beauty of giving gifts to your children. Like I just came back from Chicago and I went and I forgot that, every time I go on a trip, I want to bring something back for my kids. They're 3.5 and 1.5. And so they don't really want to see me, they just want to see what I bring them. And so I forgot I was in the airport, and so I went to the trinket shop, and they didn't have anything really for kids except these 2 little keychains. One was a basketball, because my son Indy loves balls, any kind of basketball, soccer ball. And then I got a little teddy bear thing for Isaiah, because he loves just life, and he loves horsies, but this is the closest animal to a horse I could find. So I was like, he's gonna love it. And I get home and I give them to him, and I give Indy, and he's playing with his ball and he's so excited. And then Zai, noticed he's playing with his, but he's not as excited. And I was like, Zai, do you love your gift? And he's like, yeah, I do, Daddy. But how come you didn't give me a horse? And I'm like, you ungrateful little 3-year-old. and I was like, I'm so sorry, buddy. They didn't have any horses. You ever lied to your kids before? No, it was just me. He said, Daddy, they didn't have. I said, in Chicago, they only have bears. And so, but they're known for bears and they love it, and that's why their football team's called the Chicago Bears. And he's like, oh, but I wanted a horse. I was like, I can't. I'm praying for you, kid. I'm praying for you. But I cannot tell you how much fun. I was like, I gotta make up for it last night. I was like, okay, I didn't get the horsey, but let me take him to a soccer game. So I said, Zai, will you go with me to LAFC soccer game? And he's like, yes. And then we're there, and I bought him a brisket sandwich that was too big for him. I bought him a high C. Sorry, babe. That's why he didn't go to sleep last night. It was a lot of sugar. And then he's just giddy-eyed as he's watching this professional soccer team play soccer. And I was so excited just seeing the world through his eyes. And we're driving home, and I said, Zai, did you have a good time? And he had a smile. He said, yes, Daddy, thank you for bringing me. And I said, okay, I was 1 for 4. I made it. I'm glad. I messed up in the morning, but I recouped. See, there's something about when you have a shift in your heart, when you realize it's not about you, it doesn't just change you, it changes others. When you become the type of person that loves to give, that you don't do it out of obligation, you don't do it because because of how it's received. See, if I only did it because how it was received, I would have never given Zai another thing because he wasn't appreciative of that bear. But it's never about just the gift, it's about what's behind the gift. And people experience that differently, because when you love to give, you do not only give when people accept it and they receive it, you give because it's in your heart, because it's the right thing to do, because you want to be the person that embodies the Spirit of God. And here at Mosaic, we love to give. And if you're a part of this community, we know that's a part of who you are as well. And so I don't want to sit here and challenge you and try and convince you. I just want to say thank you, because you have given so much of yourself. You have given so much of your resources. You've given so much of your hard-earned money that it has changed people's lives across the world. And then what we get to do together is we get to pool all of that good that God has done in us. And then we get to unleash as much good as we can in the world. And this week, we are launching our 5th campus in the last year. It is incredible. It is so exciting that this Saturday, we're launching Mosaic Orange County, and there are gonna be people's lives that are gonna be forever changed. And the reason we can launch it is because of your sacrifice, because of your generosity. And so I just wanna encourage you that as we continue to step into spaces where God is calling us to, that we don't just see giving as just a thing that we do, but we realize that being generous is who we are at our core. And I can't wait till a year from now to see where we're gonna be. Maybe we're gonna be in Iowa. Please, God, no. I'm kidding, we love you, Iowa. We always pick on the Midwest. But wherever God is leading and calling, it's not gonna happen by magic. It's gonna happen because we intentionally sacrificed and we intentionally gave. So today, whether you're here in this room, whether you're on live stream, I wanna encourage you to join us as we become a church that doesn't give because we have to, but we give because we get to. And let's give with that spirit today. You can go ahead and pass the buckets. And there's a couple ways that you can give. You can text the word Mosaic to 77977. You can go online, mosaic.org/give. Or the best way that I want to highlight is to give through the app. That it's a way that you could just set up recurring giving. You can get that on your phone immediately. And it's just the best way that we get to step into giving together. And then we've got a bunch of things going on that we want to let you know about here at Mosaic. So we call it Church News. Check it out.
What's up, Mosaic? It's so good to see you. I'm Tanya.
And my name's Felix, and we're here to let you know what's going on this week at Mosaic.
One of the best things about Mosaic is community, and we want to get connected with you. So follow us online.
Take a moment, download our app. It's an amazing resource where you can submit prayer requests, praise reports. It has everything that's going on during the week. We use it to give. It's super convenient.
So download the app today, and after the gathering, head over to the Next Step area and make sure that you say hi to someone new.
Midweek has been going so strong all summer.
The Woods take flight on Wednesday night.
We have an extended time of worship, an amazing message from one of our pastors, and you just get to catch up with your friends at the middle of the week, 8 p.m. Wednesday nights.
If you're interested in being part of building the future of the church, then you should really consider applying for Mosaic College. So to hear more about it, check out this story from one of our graduates.
Mosaic College is this space that's gonna build in you the foundation to make not only life change in yourself, but in everyone around you. I remember my very first day, Pastor Joe comes into the room and he says, decisions that you make today will create your tomorrow. And that in itself changed my entire life. I remember making decisions that day that I knew would change my entire future. Worship is all about character, and Mosaic College is where you're gonna learn how to build that character. I learned how to be a servant leader and what that looks like. Mosaic College is where you learn how to love more, and love being the thing that seeps out through your worship.
The deadline to apply is coming up next week on August 22nd, so go to mosaic.org/college to submit your application.
We love you, Mosaic.
We have one more song, so let's stand and worship together.
Mosaic, what we do here is literally felt around the world. And I love that our church is not just a local church, but a global church. And one of the many places we go is the beautiful country of Malawi in Africa. And Pastor Kim is gonna speak and give some highlights from that. But there's nothing like hearing the songs we sing here, sung in Malawi, in their native language of Chichewa. So we're gonna do a little bit of that for you guys this morning. We hope you enjoy it.
supply now and forever, and all my hope and all my joy is found in you. Oh, your mercy rushing through me. Oh, how beautiful, love amazing, your love has saved me. Oh, how beautiful.
You are mighty, Lord, love unfailing, and I do not deserve, but still you call me, and all my hope and all my joy is found in you. Oh, Jesus, no more trying to praise God. Oh, kukongola, chikoli chomabana, chali pulamusa. Oh, kukongola.
Oh, how I love you. Let's sing this out. Jesus, I love you. Oh, how I need you. Jesus, I need you. Oh, nimakukondani. Yesu, nimakukondani. Oh, nimefurahimu. Yesu, ninafurahimu. Oh, Jesus, no shani pesa. Oh, kukongola, chikoli chomabana, chali pulamusa. Oh, kukongola. Oh, how beautiful, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, how beautiful, oh, beautiful, oh, beautiful, oh, beautiful. How beautiful.
by the love of God. And so here we are in Malawi, saying, Jesus, take the love that's transformed my life, partner with what you're doing here in Malawi, and do something greater.
Malawi is known as the warm heart of Africa, and there is just something about people here. The smiles that greet us, the hands that hold ours, the hugs that we now get. They have really big, warm hearts.
What we've been doing here is we've got a medical team treating people. We have a kids team, and we are literally empowering these children, letting them know that they have been created with infinite value. We even have a justice team going into the prisons and helping people get free. All in all, what we're doing is we're creating community, we're creating partnership with these people who, even though they're a world away from us, are our family.
We're here to partner with their leaders, and we said to them, let's do this together. They stood up immediately. They took us to a land, the edge of this village, and said, we would like to give Mosaic these 2 acres.
They're not charging us for this land. They don't want to make money on it. They want us to build a home here so that when we come, we will have a place to be in their village.
And so we believe that from that, God has birthed something here between Mosaic, Chiliza Village. We love it. We hope you will be a part of that as well. We want to welcome those campuses in Santa Monica, Venice. Let's hear it. Woo! South Pass, welcome to Mosaic. Hollywood. Yerko Kongola. You are beautiful. You are beautiful and welcome this morning. You are home. And you know what? I want to especially welcome from somewhere in Guatemala. I want to recognize MSC, our own voice in worship. They were just nominated for 3 Dove Awards. Woo! Our first time, our music. Isn't it beautiful? 3 Dove Awards. Tremble, go on. So if we haven't met, my name is Kim McManus, and I've been around for a long time. And such a long time. And in June, we traveled to Malawi. And I thought you should know. Sometimes I don't know how to tell the story. And so Erwin's like, you've got to be a better storyteller about what we're doing around the world. And he says it like that. You know. And I thought you should know what we're doing. So 35 of us went. And I'm going to just say this talk is called Light It Up. Light It Up. Because Light It Up is what they did. They just brought who they were, and they brought their gifts and talents, and some of them didn't even know what they were doing, and they said, we're really afraid, because they were working with a lot of people. And they just came, and they brought their A game, and they represented you so well in every situation. And there was one day that we were invited to come alongside our partner church, The Grove in Chandler, Arizona, and with the students at African Bible College, we hosted 87 chiefs in the surrounding villages. And so they invited me to come and speak. And I'm like, how do I explain Hollywood? So I didn't. How do I explain how far it was? So I didn't. But how do I explain Mosaic? How do I explain the church to chiefs in a village when they only know a church of like 40? How do we reach out with the love of Christ to them? And so I came and I said, hey, I've been thinking a lot about light. And I just asked them, how many of you here, chiefs, how many of you have light in your home? Chiefs from all over around the villages. 4 people raised their hands. 4 people actually have light at all. And we're talking about, I'll go flip on the light for the bathroom and flip on the light for the kitchen and flip on the light for the, they have possibly 1 light bulb in their house, maybe. And I said I knew that if only 4 had it, then none of the villages in the surrounding areas where we were, in the villages that we were working in, had light. I said, I've been thinking about light to them. I've been thinking about light spiritually and what that looks like. And I have been thinking about what light is literally, physically. Can we talk about that? And the chiefs, well, that's what they did too. They said, yeah, let's talk about that. And so spiritually, we had the verse that we had taught all the kids in Shaliza's school. It was Matthew 5:14. It goes like this. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be. Neither do my people light a lamp and put it under a. Why would you do that? Instead, they put it on its. They put it on its stand, and it gives light to how many people? In the house. It gives light to everybody in the house. And in the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. You probably read that verse 10,000 times. I don't know. But it was like, oh, we're going to talk about light? That's awesome. And I said, you're the light of the world. You're the light of the world. I didn't even know them, but I was like, you're the light of the world. Jesus said, you're the light of the world. What does that mean? What does that mean? The chiefs were all looking and leaning in. I said, you're the light of the world when you do good, when you lead your people well. I don't know what that looks like to you, Mosaic. I don't know what that looks like to you, to be the light of the world. When we know in our hearts, Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. And then later, he says, you're the light of the world. And there's this direct correlation, but he gave it to us. He instilled it in us. He put it in us. He says, there's a deposit. He says, now, you're the light of the world. And, I would be okay with it. You're the light of the house. You're the light in the bathroom. You're the closet light. You're the night light. You're the little tiny light over there that guides the way on the airplane, sometimes in an emergency, But Jesus said, no, you're the light of the whole world. The whole world. And it seems like Malawi is on the other side of the world. And it is a small village on the other side of the world. And I'm telling you, we found this place 3 years ago, and we've fallen in love with the people. And so we said, okay, boy, we are going to talk about light, because they are the light of the world. We think, oh, we can understand because we've got technology and we can send out live stream and wavy things and messages all over the place. So we must be knowing what this light of the world things. We got this thing. But I'm telling you, from this little village in Africa, in Malawi, people will never be seen. They don't even know. They thought that we went home every day and came back. They don't even understand airplanes, but they wanted light so badly. They wanted light so badly. It's the light of the world when you do good. How good can you do? What good can you do where you are? Mosaic is the same message to the church globally. We got so much good we can do. And we don't have to wait for anybody to say, you're the director, tell us what to do. No, you generate your own good. You generate your own good. That is a beautiful thing. You know what? Light travels. Light travels. If we're talking about light, I want you to know your goodness travels. You will never know where, you might know where it starts, but you may never know where it's going to end up. Don't ever underestimate when we do the offering here. Don't you dare. Because I know where it ends up. It ends up feeding 700 kids every single day in Shalisa. Because they wouldn't have that meal. They go to school hungry every day. They go home hungry every day. And you feed them. I know where your offering ends up. Because you're good people. You're good people. Your name is good people. Your name is good. And the good that you can do is expandable because your good travels. Light travels. You're the light of the world. You're the light of the world. Can you own that? Say it. I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. Woo! A town sitting on a hill, it cannot be hidden. And I said to the chiefs, I said, you know why a town sitting on a hill can't be hidden? Because it has light. Everybody can see it at night. It's visible. Because you can say, oh, there's that town up there. I see that town up there. I see all those homes up there. It can't be hidden. It's impossible because it's on a hill. So we don't go and hide our light. So we were with these chiefs all day. We fed them chocolate to get them wound up. Later we fed them hot chocolate. We just wanted to get them more wound up. And then when we shared about light, that they were the light of the world when they did good, and that they were true, and that they were, and you were the light of the world when you're true. When you can say to someone else the truth, you look them in the eye, you can tell them the truth in love. You know, I think I am so starving. I am so starving for friendships that are true. I feel like we teach each other how to be positive without truth, right? We're really a positive country, and we do such good, but sometimes we just avoid the hard conversations of the truth that are done in love. And that's light too, that shines some perspective, that shines some clarity in an area, which I need. And if you're my friend, don't you dare come near me without telling me the honest to God truth, right? I'm starving for people who are less positive and more honest, right? Right? Because light is about doing good and about telling the truth, and it is all about creating the beautiful, the good, the true, the beautiful. And as I was like talking to these chiefs and I was looking in their eyes, I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming. So we built this thing up. And I said, you know, the great thing about light is I don't want to hide it. I don't want to go hide it under a bowl, right? Because then it's all dark again. And I said, personally, I want to see my husband's sweet face when I fall asleep. I don't want to be like this. Where are you at? Where are you at? And they all laughed, right? Where are you at, honey? I love you. You're beautiful, right? I want to see him. That's what light does. Light's turned on. We light it up, right? But they don't know about what light is like in the darkness. They just know about darkness. Half their lives are spent in physical darkness, you know? And so we were just building it up, and I said, I have a friend, and I would like to introduce you to him. And David came up, and he demonstrated a solar energy lamp, and it's expandable, so it's easy to travel with. It's beautiful. We tried it out. We did all of our homework. It charges the battery. It charges a cell phone. It gives 50 hours of light in 14 hours of recharging. And so David did all the demonstration, and they were looking intently. Oh, we've never seen this before. We've seen other lights, but we've never seen this light, and da-da-da, they were leaning in. But it was that time I said, my community, my church, Mosaic in Los Angeles, they've sent one to each of you. They've sent one to each of you. And we began to hand these out. And something happened. I wasn't expecting it. They couldn't believe it. They were overwhelmed, and they stood up. And the chiefs stood up for us, for you, and they started dancing. And they started singing. They started singing their songs, and there was such an outburst, an overwhelming sense of joy. Our cameras were like, whoa! You know, we couldn't get it all. And it was like, because it was so overwhelming to them that they would be given something so precious as light. As light. And I said, I've been thinking about light. Can your village have light? And I've been praying for these villages. that God would start through us a solar energy project that would be subsidized so these villages can have light at night, and it would start with the chiefs. Is that doable? It's doable because light travels, light does good, light is true, light is beautiful. And we over-spiritualize everything. We over-spiritualize, but I'm telling you, light is not a metaphor. So much of the world is sitting in physical darkness. And we had 3 nights in my neighborhood of outages, right when we had that terrible heat wave. And I sat there getting more angry, and everybody else in my neighborhood was angry, like we deserved light. You know, like, oh, I paid my light bill. Somebody better solve this problem. One lady on our neighborhood app, she said, I think that we should go to the mayor's house with our candles and do a vigil. Because I bet he has light. And I was like, yes, I know he has light. And I was a nice person day 1, a nice person day 2, but day 3 I wasn't nice. I wasn't nice anymore because I wanted my light. I expected my light in my bathroom and my light in the kitchen and 1,200 other lights that I have around my house. You know? And then we have a world filled with darkness. In the scripture, they talk about that dynamic of light and darkness. We know that God is light. He's the author of light. Genesis 1:1, he said he took the light and he separated it from the darkness. And he said the light was good, what he had done. And he put a light in the heavens. And he put one at night and one in the day. The one in the day does better than the one at night. And the stars up there, they're light as well. And we think, oh, that was the act of a creative God to do light and dark. And then some people, we get the privilege of be lit up, right? But most of the world doesn't. And so those chiefs were our first step in saying, let there be light. Let there be light, because somebody is going in this room or another room or another house or somebody else in the world is going to teach me how to do solar energy properly. And we're going to create a ladder of solar energy, a democracy for the villages in Malawi. And they will rise up to say, we own this. We're not asking for handouts. You subsidize a program and our houses will be lit up and our children can study at night and we can have a light to go to the bathroom and we can be safer. Don't they deserve it as God's children as well as you? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And so we celebrated with them. And we took this light and we taught this verse and we took it and we taught it to all the children in Chile's school. There's like, I don't know, 1,100 of them. Our teams went in, right? It's so beautiful. Our teams went in. And they were like, you're the light of the world. And the children would all repeat it. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill could not be hidden. And so that was the verse all for the 2 weeks we were there. And then you would hear the translators trying to correct the kids, you know, when they didn't get the English right. You are light of the world, the translator would say. A city on a hill cannot be hidden, not chicken. And so, Rachel Kaiser's team, they were heroes. Every day they would show up teaching those kids, talking about light. They created this phenomenal presentation. And so we would go to schools and we would go do our thing, all of our different teams. And I especially love the Justice team. The Justice team were made up of 2 of our Mosaic girls, Jasmine and Destiny. And Jasmine and Destiny, they are attorneys. And they joined the legal team in Malawi and the legal team with our partners at the Grove. And they made this big justice team. And they went in, they took the files of people who were being held, and they would look at the files, they would defend these clients, they would pay the $10 it would take to buy their freedom, or the $100 to buy their freedom. And they would unsort the tangled legal mess. And in the time that we were there, they set 30 people free. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. Beautiful. You are the light of the world. Justice team, A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. You take it and you hide under your bowl? No, you don't. You put it on a stand, and people will see your good deeds. You see, sometimes these good deeds get kind of perverted into this kind of religious weirdness, and we don't even know what to do with it. The religious weirdness, it's not a new thing. In Isaiah, in the 8th century before Christ, the people were far from God, and they wanted to please God, because if God heard them and he would be pleased with them and he would show their favor, he would shine their light on them. It would say the face of God would shine his light on them, and they would prosper. And they were after not the face of God, but after the prospering part, right? And so God saw that, and what they would do as they kind of imitated light is they would create these festivals, or they would create these religious activities. And for them, fasting, they created fasting. And they would like abstain from food. But that wasn't just the worst. They wouldn't even call it a cleanse. They would say, oh God, please hear our prayer and help us lose weight at the same time. They would cover themselves in ashes and sackcloth and sit there with miserable faces, and they would look really hungry. And you know what you do when you look hungry? You get angry, right? And so, and this is what God said about that fake light. He said this. He said, is not this the kind of fasting I've chosen for you? Is it just for one day? It says to loose, this is in Isaiah 58, to loose the chains of what? Injustice. And untie the cords of the what? Of the yoke. And set the oppressed free. And break every yoke. Every yoke there is. And that's biblical language, that's farming language for that yoke that was put on an ox that would be working in the fields. Slavery. Well, it was put on the people of Israel. And it says, God, I don't want your fasting, your fake religious gestures. What I want you to do is go take the yoke off of people's back and make it light for them. He said, I want you to set the oppressed free, and I want you to break every yoke. And we could name all the yokes there are in the world. You could name them. You know, we have human slavery. We have like gender equality. We have all of these yokes people are under. Poverty. All of the injustices, right? And he says, I want every yoke broken. We drive down Hollywood Boulevard. We see yokes, don't we? We see yokes. But what does the internal voice say? We got to call somebody about that. I can't believe Hollywood. They're crazy people over here. Who's going to solve this problem? Who's going to solve this problem? Who's going to take this and break the yokes? And it says this. God said, is it not to share your food? That's the yoke. Is it not to share your food with the hungry? To provide the poor wanderer with what? Shelter. When you see the naked, to what? To clothe them and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood. You know, we can't even sometimes face our own family. They're so crazy. They're so toxic. I'm going to have some distance. So we've turned away from our own flesh and blood. And God said, I don't want you to do that, and I want you to do the other as well. Is that not the most human thing that you can do? Is that not what he created us, so intelligent, so brilliant, so kukungala? Yes, it's exactly why he created us that way. He said this, then, in verse 8, your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. It's part of it, right? Light is healing. Then your righteousness will go before you. You want a brand? Have it righteousness. You want a reputation? Have it righteousness go before you. And the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. The things that you do, it says, even in Matthew, let them see your good deeds. Let them see them. Let them see them. Let them see them. And then they're going to glorify me. Because what you do reflects to the Father the light that's in you, right? And he said in Isaiah, centuries before, he says, the glory of the Lord is going to be your rear guard, because they're going to see, because your righteousness is going before you, and the glory of the Lord is going to go behind you. It's because of this. It's going to heal you. And it says, then you will call, and the Lord will answer me, and you will cry for help. The Lord will answer you, and you will cry for help, and he will say, here am I. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger, that's your fault. And it's your fault, that pointing finger. I love your pointing finger. I see sometimes your pointing finger on social media. And the malicious talk, the negative talk, the talk that tears down, the talk that does damage, the talk that is dark. He says, do away with it. And if you spend yourselves on behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness. Your light will rise in the darkness. Because you know we're going to separate the light from the darkness. Because we live with each other and we intermingle with the light and the darkness. He says, but when you're fighting for each other, then that's when your light rises in the middle of all the darkness. And I'll tell you, it changes the darkness, right? It transforms the darkness. And darkness cannot exist when there is light. It cannot exist. And so your light rises up. These girls, this justice team, they went to a Girl Shine Academy, and they were letting their light shine, and they were telling these girls who were young, hey, you can be an attorney as well. We fight justice. We do this. We set the captives free. And they were asking them all kinds of questions, Jasmine and Destiny, and Jasmine and Destiny were answering their questions, and all of a sudden one of the girls said, are you married? Because you're 26. And Jasmine said, no, I'm not married. And the girls went, what? Ah! And Jasmine so gently said, and I was standing over here. And I was standing with the only man in the room. His name was ZK. He was the photographer. And I was standing there and watching these girls just deliver the most brilliant talk about how to become an attorney and how to rise out of poverty and how to be light in their land, and giving them a different kind of model that you can wait, you can be single, you can go to school, you can do phenomenal things. And then Jasmine said, I want to be married. I want to be married. God, you know I want to be married. And then she just gave the most beautiful talk about how she brings value to the table. And she wants a man who brings value to the table. It was amazing. And everybody was like, and I remember we just stood up and said, no marriage, no marriage. We were trying to tell, we're telling the girls they can't get married young, not no marriage ever, right? We were school. We were just telling them. And Jasmine says, I want to be married. And the photographer, the only man in class, he says this. He said it out loud, and he didn't know he was saying it. He said, here I am. He said, here I am. And I was standing beside him, and I looked at him, and he realized he said it out loud. And he's like, and he ran out of the room. He ran out of the room. And I just realized he had seen light. And light attracts light. Doesn't it? Light attracts light. And ZK was over there, this amazing man of light, and he saw this phenomenal woman of light. So we spent the whole day saying, hey, ZK, what you gonna bring to the table? But that beautiful moment where he said, I am here. And it was the same dreamy possibility that God said here in this passage. You will call to me, and I will say to you, here I am. Here I am. The dreamy possibility that we could be healed, that light can heal, that darkness can be destroyed. That is a dream of Almighty God, and it's only realized through human beings. We can't expect the animal kingdom to dispel darkness. We can't expect anyone else to solve our problems but ourselves, right? What is light to you? What is light? And you know what? Light not only travels, light not only just beautifully reaches out and is attractive. The dreamy possibility of light. But light was seen to me through this amazing woman, Dr. Leila Brandt. And we sent a medical team, and they saw 1,100 patients. 85% of those patients have malaria. People work with malaria, they go to school with malaria, they don't go to school with malaria. And it's a horrific, these villages have no ongoing medical care. And if you have a baby, God help you. If you get sick, God help you. There's no transportation, no medical care. And here is Leah LeBrant, and she's traveled, she's an OBGYN. And she says, I think I would like to pay the salary of this medical professional, Arthur. So they carried on this conversation for 1 year to see a lot of things, character, professionalism, all those things. And then she said, I will hire him to be here 100% of the time to take care of these people's needs medically. And you see, light multiplies itself. Light gets on a grid. Light gets on a grid so other people can have light that you have. Light multiplies itself, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I don't know, I love you, Mosaic. I love you for sending. I love you for going. I love what you do. I love who you are. You are both good, and you are true, and you are beautiful. I just wanted to come this morning to tell you that story, to tell you a few things about what you did. And we, at the end of our time there, we took those 700 kids and we put solar energy lamps in their hands. They actually did an art project with solar energy. And we had a big, huge, beautiful celebration. We timed it. Rachel and her team timed it because it was dark. That village had never seen light. And those lamps, those little lights came on. And they did their songs and their dances that they had created and their stories they had created. They did them for the first time in the dark, in the light. Yeah. I know that you don't know them, but I wanted you to know them this morning. I thought it was important enough for you to meet your family in Shalisa. It was the first time the parents came to see their kids perform. It was the first time the elders and the chief showed up, and the elders and the chief all left with their own solar lamp. Because we want to put light in their imaginations, right? Can you only imagine what we can do together as a community as we light up the villages in Malawi, as we give them the freedom of light? Light is both spiritual and light is physical. Nobody deserves to sit in darkness half their waking hours. Isn't this beautiful? And I'm going to just tell you, the spiritual part of this is we all spiritually are sitting in darkness. We're all spiritually alone if we don't know and have a relationship with the Father and Almighty God who loves us. It's a beautiful thing when God meets us. And I ask God, would you meet us today, Jesus? Would you meet us today, Lord Jesus? And for those of you who know, I've never crossed that line of faith ever. I want to cross it today because I'm sitting in darkness. Maybe even I do good things, but I know. See, darkness knows what darkness is. And it knows the difference when it meets truth. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. He who believes in me will never walk in darkness. He who follows me will never walk in darkness again. And one day, I crossed that line of faith because I was sitting in a room so alone, so destitute, so abandoned, so afraid. And I asked, I begged God, take me. Would you take me? Would you take me, Jesus? I can't live like this. I can't live in this dark room, in this dark bed the rest of my life. Would you take my heart, Jesus? Would you? And Jesus came and met me in that place. And he took a hold of me and he raised me up. And he gave me that light. And it says in Isaiah, arise. Arise and shine, for your light has come. Your light has come. His name is Jesus. His name is Jesus. He's the light of the world. And he wants you to be the light of the world in the best way. You're to distribute light. You're to multiply light. You're to travel with light. You're to get on the grid and share light and life with this community. And I want you to know that today. It has been life transformative to me. And for those of you who know all about light, and you're good, you're good, you're good. Things are changing in the world because of you, Mosaic. Your light has traveled to the spaces around the world. And people in tears, they come up to me and they say, we listen every Sunday to the podcast. We're your church. We belong to Mosaic. And to those people, I say to you, we love you. Even though you're not in our room, you are in the house. You're in the house. So don't let your light just be hidden. Don't put it away. Let it be put on a stand. Rise up for your light. Shine, shine, for your light has come. In this world, when our lights connect around the globe, it changes the world wherever we go. Wherever we go, it changes the world. So Erwin has been in Brazil. He's now in Guatemala. Soon he'll return to LA tonight. He's taking the message of light, but it is not just up to Erwin, people. You have to speak light. You have to speak. Light has a language. And if you can't get it out of your mouth, it has to come through your good deeds. But when people ask you about your good deeds, you have to glorify the Father which is in heaven by the words of your mouth. And I had to decide, am I going to come up here and talk just a little message about light? But it would be just to say this. I pray for you as you walk across that line of faith. But for those who have done that, you tell your story, you tell your story, you tell your story, you tell your story. It's kukongola. It's beautiful. It is light and life to somebody else. And I want us to bow our heads. And for those of you who have decided, yes, today's the day. I want Jesus in my light, in my life. I want to be the light of the world too. Then you pray this prayer. Jesus, light of the world, come into my life. Bring your light into my heart. Dispel the darkness. I am yours. I am yours. Wait for it. Wait. And Jesus said, all you have to do is ask, and I'm there, eternally, forever. And if that's what you did today, your life, your eternity will be set forever. You're the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Put your light on a stand. Let it light the whole room. Let it light the whole world. Father, I pray a blessing over my family here, and the family that's online, and the family at every location. I pray this blessing. Let our lights connect. Let the light of the church community globally connect. Let the people that are hiding their gifts under a bowl of obscurity take it off and come out in the light and offer their gifts to you and offer their lives to you and offer their words to you. And may they do good, may they do good, may they do true, may they do beautiful in the places where they serve in this world. And Father, let the church rise and shine in the name of Jesus. Amen. God bless you. Thank you.
Please stand and sing. Let's sing How Beautiful. How beautiful, how beautiful, how beautiful, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, how beautiful, how beautiful, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, oh, how beautiful, oh, your mercy rushing through me, oh, how beautiful, how beautiful, love amazing, your love has saved me, oh, how beautiful, how beautiful.
Come on, Mosaic. Hey, together, can we thank Pastor Kim McManus for that word? So much light. Wow, that was incredible. Man, I feel like there was moments where God was just speaking so profoundly here to so many people. And what a beautiful imagery to give us that moment where we can invite the light of the world to come on inside of us. And I just know that there are so many of you here today that you said yes to that call, that invitation. You said, God, as the light of the world, as you being the source of light, can you turn that light on inside of me? And even I get the sense there's still some more of you that are ready to cross over that line of faith. And so we're just gonna do one more call. If we could all bow our heads and close our eyes, and we just wanna create space if that's you. And you know right now that message resonated so much with your soul that you are ready, and you prayed that prayer, that you listened to those words and you said yes. And if that was you, we want to see you and we want to recognize you. We want to pray over you. But I just get a sense there's more of you right now that are ready to step over that line of faith. And so if that was you, and you prayed that prayer that Pastor Kim led us in, and you said, Jesus, you are the light of the world. I'm ready to turn my light on. Then right now, I just want you to raise your hand so we can pray for you. I just want you to raise your hand. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, hands all over. Anyone else right now, just raise your hand. This is your way of saying, the light turned on. Yes, I see you. The light turned on. The darkness fleed and something different happened. Anyone else right now, the light turned on. Jesus, you are the light of the world. Father, we pray for everybody that's raising their hands right now, that they are making a declaration that they once were filled with darkness, but the light turned on, and no longer is that their story. We celebrate that you invite us into your story, and when we give you our lives, it changes everything. And so with every hand that's held high in this place, right now, Jesus, we pray you would fill them, not just with your light, but you would fill them with your peace. You would fill them with your joy. You fill them with your hope. You fill them with your life. And that as they go from this place, God, as they go from this place, they would be like these amazing kids in Malawi. That maybe there was never a day that they had seen light before, but that day when they saw light for the first time, it changed everything. And then just see how beautiful it is when they walk into darkness and they walk into places, but they bring their lights. And so that's our prayer for everyone here this morning, that they know that now it is their responsibility, is their privilege, that everywhere they go, they get to bring your light. We thank you, Jesus. We love you and ask this in your name. And all together we said, amen. Hey, can we just thank God for everyone that raised their hand today, that said yes to that story? So beautiful. Hey, couple quick things before we go. First, if you raised your hand today, when you prayed that prayer, you made that decision, your light turned on, we have a gift for you. It's a Bible, and it's just filled with stories of people that journey through life together, that were trying to bring their light to everyone that they came in contact with. And so we want to give you a Bible and put a sticker on it that says you belong here, so that you know that you are part of a tribe here at Mosaic, and that you are a family that we get to do life together. So when we go out the back doors, you'll see our team holding that up. It comes with a hug, so if you're not a hugger, just grab it and run, all right? But make sure you get this before you go, and then say hi to somebody. Meet someone new. This is a great way that you get to connect to each other, connect to community. And then this week, first, if that message spoke to you and you want to be a part of what we're doing across the world, you want to go to Malawi, you want to go to Guatemala, you want to go to Honduras, all the different places that we get to go, and you want to be on our global team, then you can go to mosaic.org/global and you can get more information about that team. Or you can also come to Next Step and talk to one of us and we'll give you more info. And then Saturday, we've got Mosaic Orange County that's launching. So we're so excited about that. It is going to be incredible. And so if you live in that area, we want to encourage you to be a part of that. Saturday nights, starting this Saturday. And also if you know people that live around there, tell them go on Saturday, be a part of that. We're going to be in Costa Mesa and then wherever else God leads after that. All right, we love you guys so much. We'll see you at midweek on Wednesday and then Saturday at OC. God bless.